All right, people, are you really ready for some motivation? Well, then good, because here we go. Day 100. And I'm kind of pumped up today. I wanted to do something special today. Big and fancy and, crazy editing. And you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. This is day 100. I'm Kenny Keller, creator of Helicopter Land Ground School. This is day 100 of Coffee with Kenny. You want motivated? Keep coming back every day then, because I'm just getting started. And I'm going to cover 10 or more of the most frequently asked questions that have happened in the last 100 days. I'm getting so many emails, and that's awesome, and I'm doing my best to answer every single one. Sometimes it takes me a little bit, and this is awesome. I'm not complaining. Keep them coming. I am going to get Heather to help me start answering some of these because she is learning so much. In over a year, she's been helping me. She can help me answer a lot of these questions as well. But what I want to hit is, I realize that most people just need motivated, right? You need a cheerleader. I'm your cheerleader. Crazy Kenny, all right? I am the cheerleader. And I want to tell you what's coming in the most over and over and over. And here's some numbers that is really interesting. Here's what's coming in. And I could show you the emails. I just went through the last 3 or 4 days of emails. And this is amazing, but it's amazing and cool. I have so many people in their 50s and 60s, in age-wise, and so many people that are somewhere around 55 to 65 hours, okay? The people in their 50s or 60s are going, Kenny, can I really do this? Should I really go for it? Yes, 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 and yes. I've done a bunch of videos on these in 100 days. I've done this at least 3 times, pointing out members that are in their 50s and 60s that are working on their ratings. Yes, you can do it. We have a member at 72 in his Jet Ranger, got his private. I just had a guy email me, or actually he's in one of the YouTube comments, 80 years old, in good health, flying his helicopter, okay? So the answer is yes, you can do it. Flip and go for it, especially if you're later in life, man. Just do it. And even if you don't do it professionally, go get the private and enjoy yourself. And if it's what you want to do and financially you can do it, get the commercial, get the instrument, get the CFI. Just do it. You don't need anybody else's permission. I'm giving you permission, and I think you should do it. And so many people are struggling at 55 to 65 hours, and the emails keep coming in. And let me tell you, people, I haven't seen one of these emails that is something that I would say, stop your training. It took me 88 hours to get my private, okay? Me, Kenny Keller, right? I have made a career out of this. I'm doing videos for you. It took me 88 hours to get my private. Why? Because I failed the first time. Why did I fail? Lack of confidence. I had ground knowledge, but the ground knowledge wasn't good enough for me to be confident. I understand this is where the problem lies, right? For probably 90% of everybody emailing. It's really, you need that vote of confidence. You need your cheerleader, someone like me going, yes, you can do this, and you can do it, okay? So if you're at 55 to 65 hours and you're struggling with something in your training, keep going. Don't feel bad. Took me 88 hours, okay? And I didn't have a lot of money. I was scrounging like a lot of people, and I just did what it took, right? I did what it took. I am the guy who's been beat down, spit up, kicked to the curb. I've had every single damn struggle there is. So everybody struggles. Learning to fly helicopter is not easy, but you can do it. So in your 50s and 60s or even your 70s, go for it. Go get that rating, pursue it. How long can I fly? Well, it depends on your health. But let me tell you something that people don't know. The medical examiner I go to, and I have covered this in another video, but I'm going to repeat it. He goes, Kenny, less than like 0.1 or 0.001, it's ridiculous. The number of people that get turned down for a medical, it almost never happens. He said, Kenny, everybody freaks out over the medical, and people usually are just going to get tired of flying and give it up. Probably because of their medical. He said, almost nobody fails a medical. And if you want to get into this and you're worried about a medical question, seek out in your area an aviation medical examiner. Call them up, email them, make an appointment, and go talk to them. People ask me all the time, hey, they ask me about a vision problem or a color problem or all kinds of health questions. I'd love to answer all those questions for you, but I'm not an aviation doctor, okay? So reach out to an aviation medical examiner and ask these questions if you're concerned about a health problem, but they almost never stop you, okay? So many people say, well, I'm interested, where do I start? Private pilot membership, okay? I'm Kenny Keller, creator of Helicopter Land Ground School. We have a private pilot membership. It's only $49 a month. When you go to get your helicopter private pilot, it's going to cost you somewhere between $10,000 to $20,000, okay? $49 a month is cheap. And yes, I'm plugging my training because I keep getting this question, well, where do I start? Get our private pilot membership for $49 a month. That's where you should start because you're going to learn so much in a short amount of time. And if you go back and start at the beginning, we're going to work you through it. And then people say, well, what if I want to do the professional pilot? Well, what do you have in your professional pilot course? It's everything. It's private, it's instrument, it's commercial, it's certified flight instructor. It's everything that you need. If you want to jump to that route, feel free and go right to it. But I would also say, if you're not sure, start out with a private pilot. It's $49 a month. You can start through it, you can cancel anytime, and you can come back anytime. And I've been saying it over and over in the videos. A lot of people are doing that. Lots and lots of people are doing that. So, military question. Got a guy trying to get in the military, and he's like, well, you know, would it help if I learned some of the ground knowledge in the ground school? Absolutely. Here's something I don't mention a lot. I don't know if I've ever talked about this in the video. We have a lot of military guys using our training, and I've had people tell me that direct in email and over the phone, and they say the military videos are kind of old, and I would believe that. They're probably showing you some pretty old stuff in those videos that are still good. It's probably still good knowledge, but they're videos that maybe were made in the 60s or 70s. And that's what I'm guessing, but I could believe that the military is probably behind on some of their training. So we have military guys, people preparing going into the military. We have guys that are flying the military using Helicopter Land Ground School. Flying a helicopter is flying a helicopter. It is. Make, model, no matter where in the world you are, which so many people from Australia asking, and a lot of Canada too. Our training is based on FAA standards, okay? With that being said, there is so much that's similar. Aerodynamics, weather. There are so many things that relate, and we have so many members in Australia and Canada and other countries. Yes, there's going to be some regulations that are different, but our training is based on the FAA. I would love to build one for every country, but that's a little beyond my means right at this point. Just not something I can do. Maybe in the future we'll be able to add some of the other most popular countries. Hate to say most popular countries, but where we get the most people coming from. You know, where do I start? Private, man. Private, get your instrument then if you want to continue on prior to the commercial because that will save you money. Then get your commercial, then get your CFI. But people get so overwhelmed looking at the big picture. I say, get the private. Just focus on that private license. Whether you're young, you're old, you're worried about money, whatever your thing is, just start with the private. Go get that private. Go take your introductory flight. Start flying. Start going through ground schools as a monthly member. You can cancel anytime. You can come back anytime. That's how you're going to start learning. You want someone to guide you through, we can do it, and we will do it. And we've been doing it for 7 years. Do I provide the books with Helicopter Land Ground School? No, we do not provide you with any of the books, but we cover that inside ground school. And when you're just getting started, I tell people, hey, you don't need to run out and buy every book. Just start with the videos. We tell you what you need minimum, and then you can start kind of getting the books as you go. If you buy every book starting out, that's fine, but you'll overwhelm yourself if you sit down and try to start working through them before you've started flying. People all the time say, well, can I use your ground school before starting flying? Yes, we have people that do it. We have people that do it all the time. I have videos people have sent in. I've done videos about people that have used our training prior to going to flight training, and it can be done. Wasn't designed that way, but people have taken our training way beyond what it was ever designed to do. Johan, I've talked about Johan over and over. The guy showed up and did a private pilot in 3 weeks because his ground school was done. He did it by driving up down in a tractor all day long, preparing to come to the U.S. to train. So it works. Where can I go to look at what's in the courses? We have a brochure. I'll put that link down below, and you can go to this brochure, and you can go in and look at the private commercial instrument CFI. Every about 6 months, Heather goes in and updates it with the videos, description of the video. You can see every single video. So if you want to see the course, sure, you can click this brochure. You can look at every single membership and look at every single video if that's what you want to do. You can also see everything by going in and doing a test flight, 24-hour test flight. For private commercial instrument CFI monthly memberships, the first 24 hours you don't get billed. So you can go in and look and see everything that's inside the training without being billed anything. Then you keep the training, or you remove your credit card from the settings inside the HOGS site, or you end it in PayPal. It's that easy. What's the cost for private pilot? It's going to be somewhere between $10,000 to $20,000. Could even be more, could even be less, but you're going to be somewhere in that figure, and there is no exact number for any one person to get the private. Depends on the aircraft, depends on where in the world you're flying. It depends on so many things. If you want to do it, just go for it, and know that you're going to spend 10 to 20 grand, okay? In that vicinity. Get that question almost daily, and I've done that video over and over and over. Just had a question, well, is your ground school just for R44? We have R22, R44, and Enstrom specific sections that complement the training. If you buy private, if you join private, you have access to the R22, R44, and the Enstrom specific stuff. The course of training, for example, the private pilot, that's private pilot training. Doesn't matter what helicopter you're flying. 95% of what you got to know, doesn't matter what aircraft you're flying. Then you can use the R22 or the R44 or the Enstrom specific sections to learn those things or specific things about those aircraft. So again, you get that. A lot of people a lot of times will ask about it. It's in their library. They didn't even know they had it. They'll go, well, hey, Kenny, I heard you got R22 training, but I haven't found it. Look in your library. Once you sign up for the site, look at the top, find your library, go in there. It's there. For private, commercial, CFI, doesn't matter. Any one of those memberships, you have access to that aircraft-specific training. And Clarence, one of our ground school members, and also very active here on YouTube, always says, Kenny, you forget to tell people about your aircraft-specific sections. And I'm always like, you're right, Clarence. I'm a bad marketer for my own business because I forget to tell everybody all the value and all the things that are inside of it. Quick, end of the coffee number 3 here. And this is truly the trick. Oh, coffee dripping down my face. I get up most of the time not knowing what I'm going to do. Coffee number 1, I'm thinking about it. Coffee number 2, I'm getting motivated. Coffee number 3, I start rolling with the camera as I'm wiping coffee off my face. But I don't care because I'm home in my kitchen doing a video for you. Will your course get me there? More than anything else out there on the planet or on the internet, our course is number 1. And yes, I can say that. People say, well, how do you know it's number 1? Because it is. Look around. I challenge you to find anything that's more detailed, has more information for less money, because you ain't going to find it. That's just the way it is. Here's another one I've been getting a lot of just recently, and it's about feeling ill when flying. Okay, so I recently did a video on if you don't feel good, don't go fly, meaning you're home, you got a cold, you're nauseated, whatever your kind of problem is. But this question, the way it's been coming in from several people just in the last week or two, videos I haven't got to yet. These were someone who, went to the school maybe or went that day not ill, but then got nervous and felt ill while flying. I personally have never really felt ill when flying, but I've certainly been nervous. And I think from these questions that I've been getting just recently, I think it is nerves. And I think it's usually somebody, again, who is in low hours and they're struggling to a certain area of their training, whether it's cross country, which is coming up a lot. People are doing okay, and then they're struggling when they get to cross country. It is tough once you get to that point. Someone turning you loose in an aircraft and sending you cross country, I get it. It's nerve-wracking. And if you're totally nervous, then of course that could make you feel ill in the aircraft. So I would talk, I would want you to talk to your instructor about it. Don't give up. I've told the story about when I first started training. I loved the helicopter. I was intrigued by the helicopter, but I was also I want to say I had a respect for it. I'll even be transparent and say, it kind of scared me. It took every day when I went to climb in it, I had to take a big deep breath, right? Because I had respect for what I was getting ready to climb into. And I had respect for, this is an intricate machine with a lot of moving parts, and a lot of things can go wrong. But 20 years of flying, if you study hard and you have the knowledge and you pre-flight and you fly quality aircraft and you do things the way they're intended to be done and the way you're trained, I really think you're almost probably never going to have a problem. If you fly a lot commercial, you get into a commercial environment, you might have a mishap at some point, but through your training, you'll deal with it. Most all of us do. I talk about these struggles all the time, different mishaps. We just talked about that either yesterday or the day before. With the proper training and knowledge, you're going to get through it. There are people that fly 20, 30, 40 years and never have a problem. So that's also the case too. You can get in an accident driving down to the supermarket in your car. Okay? I am still a firm believer. It's safer flying through the air than it is driving to the supermarket. I'm telling you. Yeah, I've had a close call or two in an aircraft, but I've had a lot more close calls driving in vehicles, cars, trucks, pickups, going back and forth to the airport, or just daily driving. I've had a lot more scares than I've had in aircraft. Man, that's a lot of stuff, and I want to wrap this up because everybody wants to go on through a day, and Coffee with Kenny, I try to keep them reasonable, but I wanted to hit a lot of that stuff today because these are questions that have been coming in, and I'm like, man, how am I going to catch up these videos with all the questions? So I thought, let's recap on day 100. Let's recap the big ones and let you know that we're still going. Keep your feedback coming and keep liking and subscribing and clicking that bell to give me the motivation to keep these coming for you because I love doing it. I'm having a blast, but I need your likes. I need your comments. I need your subscriptions to keep it going, right? Because I watch it every single day. Analytics are important. Building the YouTube channel is important, and this does help support Helicopter Online Ground School, which is what I do. Full time, I fly in the aircraft. This is my full-time job. Flying with our members is also part of my job, but I do that more for fun, quite frankly, because running a flight school and living on instructor pay is not an easy thing to do. All right, that's a lot of stuff. Just do it, people. And I want to back up one more time to the 50s and 60s thing. 50s and 60s, and you want to learn to fly, do it. Go for it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And for those of you of 55 to 65 hours that are struggling with whatever it is in your training, do not give up. Keep flying. One more thing. The video I did a few days ago on the guy said throwing in the towel, you can go back and watch that video. I tried calling him this morning and he didn't answer. That's okay. We'll update in another video. But he did tell me through email exactly what I expected. I said, hey, the first two things I want to know, what's your frequency of flying and how many hours do you have? And his reply to the email was, I think he's like 55 hours. And he said he now flies like once every other week. And in the beginning, he said he was flying 2 times a week. Okay. But that's when he first started. He's been working on it for a couple of years now. So exactly as I suspected, 2 times a week is okay, not as good as 3, but that was when he started his training back a year or 2 ago. Recently, he's only been flying like once every other week or once a week. That's not enough. So hands down, when his flight school said, oh, we're going to send you to an aviation psychologist, bull crap. He needs to fly more. He needs to try to make his schedule work where he can get in there 3 days a week. And I guarantee you, if he started flying 3 days a week, in a couple weeks, he'll be reporting back to us going, Kenny, oh my God, you're a genius. And I'll say, no, I'm not a genius. It's the way it works. I'm not a genius. I just know because of the struggles, and I know what it takes, and I know how you get beat down, and I know how you get overwhelmed because I've been there. Failed my private pilot check ride. As horrible as it was, that's why I'm here today helping you. It changed my life. It changed the way I learned. It changed me as an instructor. I'm telling you, my failure as a private pilot was the best thing that ever happened to me. As much as it hurt, driving home, feeling like a loser, it was horrible. And I didn't go back for 6 months, people. 6 months, I didn't go back. Thank God I did. Whole nother story on how I created my notebook that turned into ground school, and here we are all these years later. So I guess if you still need more motivation, keep coming back every day to Coffee with Kenny. I don't know what else to tell you. I am pumped. I am excited. 100 days. I never intended on doing this. I had this cup out there on the deck in January on a nice warm day, and I did a video on cancel anytime, keep as long as you like. The beauty of our training. The next day I did another video. I'm like, hey, this is kind of fun. And very quickly, people started calling it Coffee with Kenny. People expected it every day. And I just kept doing it. I never set out to do Coffee with Kenny daily video. I didn't name it. It just happened. And some of the coolest things in life are unplanned, right? I love it. It's absolutely amazing. So in turn, do me a favor for providing you all this insight and being your cheerleader. Do me a favor and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up on this video. Leave me your comments about anything helicopter training related. And we'll just keep doing our best to keep cranking out the videos and answering your questions. And, you know, rah, rah, rah. Go, 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 because you can do it. One more time. The problems that keep coming in through email, I don't see them as that big of problems. The struggles that are coming in, I don't see them as being that big a struggle. So keep after it. Dream, you know. Embrace kindness. Let me flip over there real quick. Sometimes that's what people just need, right? We got to get back to this. It's been a few days. I don't know. It's been a couple weeks since we hit it. And people kept asking, hey, and this might be the one I think somebody said, hey, what's that one down there at the bottom? So embrace kindness. If that's all you're needing, I'm here to give you some kindness. Day 100. Thanks, everybody. Click the bell, subscribe after, or click the bell after you subscribe. Give me a thumbs up on this video. Leave your comments down below. And we'll see you tomorrow for day 101. Got a pretty cool video. Well, I don't want to ruin it. Hopefully something cool is going to transpire this afternoon. And tomorrow I'll be either excited to show you or be bummed because it didn't work out. But that's life, right? Yeah, day 101. See you tomorrow.